15 kilometres to the northwest of Bordeaux lies Saint-Aubin-de-Médoc. The quiet town is more of a place to live than a place to visit, but it does include a number of sites with tales to tell. Saint-Aubin's most prominent landmark is its church, parts of which date back to the 12th century. Bits were added over the course of time, including the belfry and bell in 1789. In more recent years, the interior and roofing were renovated, and vines were planted alongside the main entrance where the cemetery was once located. To one side of the church is a building which used to be the priest's house before becoming the residence of the rural policeman, the garde champêtre. From the 1930s onwards, public bathing and showering facilities could be found here. They kept the locals clean until closing in 1964, by which time running water had become commonplace throughout the town. Just opposite is a 19th century building where municipal meeting rooms can now be found. It used to be a bar-restaurant which welcomed people who were passing through, hence the rings used to tie up horses. Patrons would pay over the counter for their food and drink, and the "Débit sur le comptoir" sign remains to this day. The ghost sign has also inspired local pupils whose carvings feature on the wall of their school. On another wall, the building's status as a rendezvous des chasseurs, the meeting point for hunters, is still visible. The municipality acquired the building in 1929, using it as a temporary classroom, then as a refectory where children would congregate to eat their packed lunches. Parts of the building were used as accommodation for municipal staff. One long-term employee was Marie-Antoinette Auristel, and it is her name which has been given to the building and part of the square. Here then are some of the children who probably enjoyed their packed lunches in the Maison Auristel. They attended the school housed in this building, completed around 1900. It comprised 2 classrooms and lodgings, but closed when a larger school was built nearby in 1966. The old school building initially went on to house the town's administrative services. It is now the municipal police station, as well as a judo and dance hall. This house on Saint-Aubin Central Junction was, for many years, the town's main grocery, tobacconist and petrol station. The building is now known as La Maison Gilbert Baquet, in reference to the last owner of the shop, who modernised much of the establishment in 1968 after a lorry had missed the bend in the road and almost completely destroyed it. It closed for good in 2008. In the 1930s, the Croix du Bourg, the village cross, which previously stood on the junction outside the house, was relocated 100 metres to a wider stretch of the main road. At its base, one of the markers positioned on walls and monuments by the Institut Géographique National can be spotted. It's official, Saint-Aubin-de-Médoc lies 37 metres above sea level. We can ascend much higher though with this 1/5 scale model of a 1960s space rocket. It celebrates the contributions made locally by engineers at CEREB, Société pour l'étude et la réalisation d'engins balistiques, to the Diamant A program, which formed part of France's plans to develop an independent nuclear defense system at the height of the Cold War. Diamant A lifted off for the first time from Algeria in November 1965, carrying France's maiden satellite, Astérix A1. There were 12 Diamant launches until 1975. 3 resulted in failure, but the overall campaign was deemed a success. But France then went on to focus its attentions on the European Ariane launcher program. The CEREB engineers who dreamt up the launcher worked out the Domaine de Villepreux Chateau and Estate, which, a number of mergers and acquisitions down the line, became an in-house residential training facility of the Airbus Group, and is now a corporate seminar venue. Which all brings us back to the 21st century and back down to Earth, all of 37 metres above sea level in Saint-Aubin-de-Médoc.